lovely viewers. I welcome you to another episode of I Choose You. My name is Christine Jaka. You know how we do it each and every week. We bring you a story that inspires you, a story that comes to motivate you. And this week, we are bringing you, a life transforming story. Personally, I'm interested because it's a field that I'm very familiar with. We're going to be talking a bit of football. In just about some few minutes, I'll introduce my guest to you. But before that, if you are still not following us on social media, please do. On YouTube is I Choose You Talk Show. On Instagram is at I Choose You Talk Show. On Facebook, I Choose You Talk Show. And then, but on Twitter, you find the show on at I Choose You Talk One. And so let me not talk or bother you too much with lengthy introduction. Let me quickly go and then introduce my guest for this week. He's someone who wore the national jersey to play and represent Ghana on so many huge international platforms, and even here in Ghana. Also, when it comes to the clubs he played for, he did so well by playing most of his footballing career. He played in Germany, played for big clubs like Borussia Dortmund, went ahead to Sweden to play. He also played in Portugal. And then I don't want to talk too much because I'll leave some of the introduction for him to continue. He also played in Ghana for Goldfield, became the top scorer, went to the Olympics in Atlanta, Georgia. So, Augustine Arhinful, I am so honored and pleased to have you on the show today. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. Please, I just said just some few things. Can you let us know who Augustine Arhinful is? We know you are a former Black Stars forward, but can you quickly let us know where you come from, siblings, kids, and all of that?
Thank you very much. I was born in Takrady, but I'm a Fanti.
Okay.
My father comes from Abrodunko. My mom is from a village close by Abrodunko, by name Ayeldo. But we're all born in Takrady. I think 7 of us, 4 boys and 3 girls. Boys, all of us played football at a point in time. For my kids, I have 3 girls and 3 boys. I lost my wife along the line. So far, so good.
Wow, so far so good. Thank you so much. But can you quickly let me know what you've been up to this COVID season?
Basically home. You don't necessarily have to go out. You go out when you have to. When it's important to go out. But we are just being careful. This thing has come to live with us, and so one has to be very, very careful. When you step out, you make sure you cover yourself, you wear your nose mask, and also try to distance yourself when you are together. Like this morning, for instance, every morning we do walk. I go to Trazako Estates because Siki Akono is there, Joe Ado is there. With a few friends, we do walking, but as usual, we have to social distance, and so we're just being careful.
Okay. Okay, so I think it's the best for all of us so that we don't end up contracting this deadly virus. Quickly, let's just delve into our conversation today. Viewers out there, our first topic today is managing time and money properly. You know, when you hear footballers, there's something that follows. There's a general perception that footballers have so much money. So today we have Augustine Arhinful here, who has lived through his career, seen the Euros and all of that, and did his best to plan his life properly, because we also see footballers who go on retirement and are not able to, they don't have so much to show for their hard work and everything. So today we have Augustine Arhinful who will be enlightening us on how exactly to manage our money, manage our time, so that when you eventually go on retirement, it will not worry you. So Augustine, let's just start the conversation. What exactly did you do? What did you put in place when all of a sudden you started landing the big deals big contract when the euros began coming, because we know how that is, rising from nothing and all of a sudden seeing the euros, because sometimes 300,000 euros and all of those things. When we even hear the figures, we wonder, are those real?
Thank you. You don't necessarily have to have big monies before you think about investment. For investment, you just have to look at which ones will bring you some earnings at the end of the day. And so you don't necessarily have to have 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 to start an investment. I've always said that in as much as we still live and not live rough, there are certain decisions that myself and some of my colleagues have taken which they don't really bring us success. It wasn't our own doing though. As you play football, you obviously will have in mind that one day you will stop playing. And so you have to start planning. But you don't plan going into business where you seek liquid money. I say liquid money in the sense that assuming I'm a professional player, not living in Ghana, playing in Europe, and I want to invest in business that, let's say you are into retailing of some products. 1 out of 100 probably might be successful because of the person taking care has his own integrity intact. Mostly you are going to lose because people will see money and always, it really doesn't matter whether it's your family member or whatever, they might try to swindle you. And so I don't advise, as we are active playing soccer, we intend to invest in where liquid money, you can always see money. You probably will have to invest in probably landed properties. You go into some fixed deposits here and there, and hope that as you go forward or you age into retirement, you'll be able to come back to it. But when you invest in businesses that people will have to sell and receive, and also you might go wrong. I was a key distributor for Unilever Nestle myself, beginning from this millennium, which is the year 2000, 2001 thereabout. I was one of the key distributors of Unilever and Nestle. Those companies are rival companies, but the products, you have to trade them together because it goes hand in hand. And if I should tell you that business is collapsed, you'll be surprised, you'll be amazed. And this is a business where in the early 2000s, the yearly sales or turnover supposedly will be like, those times we call it billion, 20 something billion Ghana cedis. And how can a business like that collapse? It collapsed because those who were managing the business saw an opportunity because I wasn't here. My wife most of the times was with me out there, we're busy somewhere else doing her own business. But they took advantage of the situation that we were not here. And so they kept going to the bank for overdraft facilities without my consent. Because the nature of the business of Unilever and Nestle calls that you, the key distributor, you have to lift the product from the factory with cash. But they, Unilever and Nestle, know that you have to sell the product to your customers and wait for like 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks for them to start paying you back. And so you, the key distributor, you should always have enough capital to go and lift. And the product, you don't choose the ones that are supposed to come to you. They give you what they want to give you because they want you to sell their product. And that is also a disadvantage to the key distributors. There are some products when you sell like that, you can sell so much. But assuming at the time, Unilever will come and give you plenty Annapurna salt. And then plenty sometimes from the Maggi cubes and all that. You can't sell because if you buy a pack of salt, for how long will it take for it to finish to get another one? But there are some products like when they sell to milk and the soaps and the oils, it comes and then it goes like that. And so there was the bank advised that we should have an overdraft facility at the bank so that when your check is there, they can pay for when you sell, you collect the money from your customers, you come and pay. And the people taking care of the business took advantage of it. The initial overdraft, I knew about it. It was signed by myself, but it's only one overdraft. And we had about 4 times what we had in the accounts more than what the bank was giving us. Because at the time, our capital starting the business was about 600 million, which is 60,000 now. And then the bank supported us an overall facility of 150, which is 15,000 now. So it wasn't basically that we needed money, but the people there, including my lawyer, they went further and were signing additional overdraft facility. At least 13 overdraft facilities were signed without my knowledge.
Wow.
In the end, because they could not manage the problem, the bank has to come in. They went to court because my property has been used to secure the overdraft facility, and it became a tussle, a big one on that. Because at one end, the bank were okay because the company owed them. On another part, the same judge ruled that you could not attach Augustine's property and the wife because we were not even party to the suit in court. Because I was not a signatory, my wife was not a signatory. Those signatories were the lawyer and the managing director at the time. But because in the contract that we had at the bank, it stated that any 2 directors at any given time can come and ask for additional overdraft. They went ahead without my knowledge. So that's why I'm saying that as you play football and you are not in the country, you don't have to. Just keep your money, probably if you want, at the bank or do some investment. When you are okay to stop football, you can come in and look at what you have in the accounts and decide to do what you want to do, because now physically you have stopped football, you'll be there to control by yourself. So that's the advice I give to the young ones out there now.
Wow, I think it's very, very good because you don't get people handling your things the way you yourself you would have done.
Yes.
Okay, so when we see business people, when we see footballers and all of that, it's these days it's putting a lot of pressure on especially the youth upcoming. Some of them want to like get money very, very quickly. Sometimes when they actually see you footballers, like they idolize you, they kind of wish they are in your shoes. Augustine, what advice do you have for those who want to get money that quickly?
I think in life, one has to wait for the right time for you to actually be engaged in whatever the man up there probably has given you. Like you stated rightly, young guys nowadays, yesterday, for instance, I was driving coming home and I saw this very young guy driving a Rolls Royce. I mean, the new 4x4 Rolls Royce. And you ask yourself that, how did you come by that? That vehicle, if I'm not lying, you're talking about $200,000. Is it for him or is for somebody else? Sometimes you tend not to worry yourself so much because probably the things that they are doing overnight, you are not capable of doing. And so you just have to let that slide. But you should not rush into anything. If it is meant to be, it will obviously come to pass. We don't have to look at the lives of others and also want to do same, because in wanting to do that, you can, or you might probably do certain things that will get you into a situation that will not be right. So I always, like I tell my boys that, look, one day, they will be responsible for themselves. This is a time for them to be grounded and do what is right. Don't engage yourself in fraudulent things, and also don't look at somebody's lifestyle and try to situate yourself in it. You might get it all wrong. So, but sometimes you speak, whether people listen or they don't listen. It's also very, very difficult.
Another thing, yeah. Okay, so we know that you already mentioned that footballers should keep their money, especially they should use it for, let's say, long-term investments, so that when they are ready and they are out of um, active playing time, they can then come back and decide on what exactly to do with their money. But what else do you think are some of the advices you can give, especially to men, to plan their lives properly? This one, let me just narrow it a little bit down to athletes. That what exactly should they do that you did that helped you, so that when they go on retirement, they will not become hungry? Because we've seen prominent footballers rising so much, and then at the end of the day, like I said earlier, they have nothing to show for their hard work.
Sometimes I think the people around you, either you'll be fortunate to have good people around you
Mm.
to give you good counsel. Uh, Other times you do it self-inflicted. I'll put it. But when you see footballers and sportsmen drive those cars, I mean, it is nothing compared to what they earn. Because assuming you want to buy yourself a $20,000 car and you are making
Mhm.
like 200,000,
Yeah,
20,000 is just a fraction of the 200,000. And
yeah,
so we are always measured by what is probably seen on the surface of it. Because you see somebody drive a car and you think that he's squandering money. No, at least when you earn yourself something, you deserve to, and you deserve to enjoy. So, but at the end of the day, if things don't go well, they always tag you with what they saw initially. That when he had money, he was driving car left, right, center. But basically, it's not like that. The people around you and the good counsel that you will receive from those who have passed through the mill is also very good. And the mistake that we footballers normally do is like we tend to believe anybody around us.
mm,
My wife is no more with us, but may her soul rest in peace. I nowadays I said I should have listened to her because there's this one particular guy who was very, very close to us. Very close. I mean, when I'm in the bathroom taking my bath, he's standing there, we are talking. He goes to my wife's bedroom, they talk. We're like family. And she always told me that you trust people too much. You don't have to do that. And so if I tell you this person nowadays can tell somebody that I've not done anything for him, it begs the question that what was his motive? You see, this
yeah,
person was the same person that I was buying airline ticket for him to come and visit me out there. And now he's saying that I haven't done anything for him. So we should be very, very, very careful with the people that come around us because most of them are there for their own interests.
mm,
And
mm,
when they receive that, they are off. We should try to possibly engage people like in the US. It happens. You have an account manager that you have to pay every now and then. They manage your finances for you. But how many of us here will even accept or believe that I should give my money, I should find somebody to manage my money for me? Few of us. I was invited to a bar conference association, international bar conference, something at the Labadi Beach Hotel. The current Chief Justice was also there. Mr. Nyantichi at the time was there. I think somewhere 2017. There was an agent who was also from the UK who was also there. And the last day of the conference was about talking about sportsmen and how they can engage lawyers. And I used my own examples, and everybody was so surprised, the lawyers and all that, because footballers hardly engage lawyers to look into their contracts for them. And so you see all these finances out there, somebody's earning so much, but if you go deep, that is not it.
yeah,
Yes. So most of the time, what you hear out there is not really what the situation is. Because assuming somebody is making, let's say, £100,000 a week, that 100,000 that you've heard, you have not heard of the tax component of it.
mm,
They are going to deduct the tax component from it and add whatever you are supposed to pay. So the 100,000 is not 100,000, but rather what will come to hand probably will be like 50,000.
Okay.
Eh,
Okay.
but we always look at it
The
from
luxury aspect.
yeah, the part of it, and then we try to measure people based on that. So
Yeah.
yes,
Okay, so you the one watching out there, please, before you get envious and start dreaming that you're in the world, especially the ladies, once you hear of footballers, you start dreaming you're in their world and all of those things. It's not as it is. You heard it from the former Black Stars forward. It's not as it is. So they'll deduct tax, some of them pay rent and all of those things, utilities and all of those things. And at the end of the day, the money remaining is not exactly what you see out there. So please just be content with what you have and take it a step at a time. Augustine, we just want to wrap up on the first part of the interview. But before that, any regret choosing football as a professional career?
not at all, not at all. Because even if I did not have one city to buy food now, it has given me that podium for Ghanaians to know me.
Yeah.
And for that alone, not at all. I'm not, I haven't regretted at all. Because my
Wow.
father played football, coached all my brothers, like I told all of us at one time. Three of us were playing for Gold Force then.
Wow.
Myself, Anthony, and one is called Papa. They are all out there in Europe. Anthony is in the UK, my big brother is in the UK, and Papa is in Holland. I never had in mind of staying out there after playing, so I am here.
Okay.
But I have not regretted at all.
At all. Okay, that's good. Please, your final word to people who are still struggling to make money. Then we bring this part of the interview to an end.
I think that first of all, let's pray for life, because without life, tomorrow is not guaranteed.
Yeah.
If you have life, tomorrow is obviously guaranteed. There is hope tomorrow. So let's first of all take good care of ourselves, and also in everything that we do. If you believe in the man up there, you put it before him, because everything that you do, like I'm speaking to you, or we are speaking to the bigger population.
Mhm.
God, I speak to God like I am talking to you. I don't need to speak in tongues for him to hear me, but I talk to him like I am talking to you, because in his own word, it is stated that knock and it shall be open. When the door is open, what do? You tell him your problems,
Yeah.
and then he will listen. And just hope that if it is not today, tomorrow he's going to answer you. So
Yeah.
let's keep hoping and do what is right.
Okay. Please, you heard from Augustine Arhinful. He said that let's keep hoping and do what is right. And know that if he doesn't open today, he's going to open you tomorrow. So, whatever you are doing, please just manage your time properly. Whatever money you have, make sure you don't waste it on unnecessary things, and then make sure that you are also praying and talking to God, because like you said, in the 90s, for a Ghanaian, all of those people to play for clubs like Borussia Dortmund and all of that, it can only take God. So please just take your time and you also get there. Finally, we've drawn the curtains on the part one of our interview. Please join us next week for the part two of our interview with Black Stars former forward Augustine Arhinful.